Alright, most of first. Shalom Israel, Yahweh Shem Shabbat Thumb, Yahweh Shemar, Hamashem Yahshua. Priest Officer 50 Adai holding class down until Officer Danya Ali gets here. Lucky. Alright, most of Christ. Lucky for the delay. Israel, this is the Thursday night history class. I just have to say, we're just skimming through an article, man, about how the sister, I believe it's in Wisconsin, she was just driving, which is so sad. You know, I mean, these devils came up to her car, sprinkled lighter fluid on her face, you know what I mean, and lit her on fire. It just goes to show you, man, no matter where we are all suffering at the hands of this same oppressor. And our people truly believe that this oppressor can somehow change. The oppressor ain't about to change his ways. That's why the scriptures say, man, who could make straight which I made crooked? The oppressor is a crooked bastard, and you cannot make him straight. No matter how much we try, no matter how much we hope, the oppressor is not going to change his ways. And the fact that we still have to argue with our people about who the oppressor is and what he continues to do, he murders us in the streets. We can't go out and stand in front of the store without the oppressor throwing us to the ground and putting his knee on us. You can't lay in your car and chill and not even drive it. You can't jog in the wrong neighborhood. You can't even chill in your own crib. But you want to go out there and march with him and make it seem like, oh man, we just march a little bit more, the oppressor will eventually stop killing us. Maybe, just maybe, the fact that you are willing to march is the reason why he's doing it more. Because the oppressor is always going to look at you as an inferior, as a slave. But the Lord had it to be different. The Most High severed us from the oppressor, man. He severed us from these other nations. And this is what our people need to realize. You know, with being severed means that, guess what? You don't have no business associating with this oppressor and these other nations. We're the only people that believe that we need another nation to help us, that we can succeed. All these other nations govern themselves. In Chinatown, they govern themselves. And that's just in Chinatown and every major city in America. You can forget about the Chinese in their own country in China. You can forget about the Arabs. You can forget about the so-called Jew, Amalek. They govern themselves. We're the only people that feel as though we need the oppressor. And this is why they fought. This is why they push things like voting on our people. When the scriptures speak out against that, don't you know that you're not supposed to vote for a people that is not your own? We're the only ones that look at Joe Biden and looking at Donald Trump and we're like, all right, man, what your oppressor is going to help us? What your oppressor is going to benefit us? I had a brother tell me, well, you know, you die, you don't vote. You're just not doing anything. You have our people out here that believe that signing a piece of paper is going to change the mind of the oppressor. When has the oppressor ever honored any agreement? He never has. He's never honored anything. You don't believe me? Ask like brothers and sisters. How many treaties did they sign with the oppressor? And how many of them did he honor? He didn't honor not one of them. So what makes you think if you voted for Joe Biden who said, you got a problem between me and Trump and you're not black? This is same Broadway Joe that came out and said, oh, I feel as though, you know what I mean, these animals need to be taken off the streets. He signed off on that, you know, on that bill that the Clintons had during the 90s, man, that 3 strikes bill. He agreed with Bill Clinton, man, having our people be identified as super predators. Man, another article came out from the late 90s, I want to say, or maybe the early 90s, late 80s, about Joe Biden saying, you know what I mean, he don't want these schools and his neighborhoods to become jungles because he don't want our children to go to school with him. And guess what? Our children have no business being in the same school with the oppressor anyway. No business at all. I tell you, Israel, the worst thing that could have happened to our people was integration. Because Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement did something that was just so destructive to our people. You want to be all inclusive with the oppressor, but the oppressor hates you. Don't you know that the oppressor hates us, blacks, Hispanics, the First Nation? The oppressor cannot stand you. And the fact that you continue to oppress him and want him to accept you as an equal, you're above the oppressor. Period. Point blank, period. You are above the oppressor, and we can go on and go into the scriptures about it, man. This is Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me. Holy meaning to be separate, man. For I, the Lord, am holy. The Lord is saying that I am separate and have severed you from other people. What does that mean? The Lord is saying, yeah, listen, I severed you from other people. Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation, guess what? You ain't like them. I'm keeping you for myself. Look how possessive the Lord is and how he's dealing with us. He chose us for himself. You got to take the Christianity off, man, off this Bible and off holy. You look at that and just assume it's your grandma or your pastor wearing a crazy hat and a fancy suit and a Rolls Royce. And he severed you from these other nations. And that ye shall be mine, that we belong to the Lord. We belong to the Lord. But guess what? Our people don't act like it. Our people want to belong to the oppressor. This is why in Proverbs it says, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. We choose the way of the oppressor. You want to know how we choose the way of the oppressor? We vote. We vote. We really believe that if you vote for a certain devil or a heathen, that'll help you. For an example, look at Obama. Our people swear up and down that Obama was just the Messiah. They look at Obama as a savior. But here's the problem. What did Obama do for you? I'll wait. Type it in and you can answer the question. What did Obama do for our people? Y'all act like Obama these other countries need. You acting like Obama wasn't having our Issachar brothers and sisters at the border as well. He was doing the same thing Trump did. But because he had a melanated complexion, because he somewhat looked like you and me, he's not our people. He is a heathen. He is an African. We are not African. You aren't African American. You ain't a descendant of Leo, Scipios, Africanus, or Americos Vespucci. And Obama did more. Obama did so much damage to our people that our people are still suffering from this day. And look at the oppressor. The oppressor sees that. He's like, all right, we feel as though that you got Obama. Now we go put Trump in office. And you see how wicked Trump is. Trump is openly racist on what he says and how he goes about things. You don't believe me? Ask everybody. Ask these other nations. They'll tell you. Trump don't give a damn. And this is why the Lord is dealing with him and dealing with this country, man, dealing with Babylon, Great War, America, with this COVID. I read another article, skimming through it. Trump is hilarious, if you ask me. Last week he actually went out and said he called it the conflict. He don't give a damn. Talking about, the Chinese virus. He called it the coronavirus no more. He called it the Chinese virus. He's passing the buck to China because it originated over there. But the Most High sent it over there first and then sent it over here for the oppressor for what they continue to do to our people. Man. The Most High severed us from these other people. We should look at what's going on in this kingdom right now and say, you know what, man, we got to stay away from that. Keep that away from me. We got to keep that away from us, man. This is our job to gather ourselves together. Most High Christ is not coming for everybody. The Most High chose us. Well, meaning, when the Most High chose us, guess what? You set our people back when you go out there and you chant Black Lives Matter. But you know Black Lives Matter is a subgroup of the LGBTQP? Yes. They are a subgroup of the Rainbow Coalition. And you want to walk hand in hand with them? You think the oppressor is one day just going to wake up and respect you out of nowhere? The oppressor can't stand you. This is why they're making homosexuality, the apex of our community. They want to force that on our people so bad because they know that if we are not serving our God, then guess what? The Lord ain't going to be with us. And they know that, and they fear it. This is why in Romans, it said, who changed the truth of God into a lie? The oppressor did that. The oppressor changed the truth of God into a lie. Paraphrasing the thing where it said, when you worship the creature more than you worship the creator, you do that. You do that. You worship the creature. You worship the creature every time you go out there and march. You going out there and you protesting, you are worshiping the creature. You are giving more power to the oppressor than you're giving to the Most High. Christ said you can't serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. How can you in one breath say Black Lives Matter, but and then the next? I know you can't wait to celebrate 4th of July. Indeed. In one breath, you celebrating Juneteenth. You talk about when you so-called got free. If I could cut on that for a minute. No First Nation. I don't remember calling you First Nations. A lot of people. What are we free from? Did we celebrate Juneteenth? A lot of y'all did. Y'all know y'all did. Y'all was out there celebrating Juneteenth. Black Lives Matter. That's what y'all do. But at the same time, I guarantee you come next Saturday, you're going to be out there with the grills out. You're going to be out there with the grills. You're going to have your red, white, and blue. Come on now. You know how detrimental that is to our people? What about what the Lord told us to celebrate? What about the Lord's Passover, which we are going to have? We are going to have the Lord's Passover. What about the Sabbath? What about the Feast of First Fruits? What about the Feast of Tabernacles, man? The memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. What about Hanukkah? Come on now. You talk about the 4th of July. You want to know why? Because you worship the creature more than you worship. The Most High is not going to be with you if you're going to be celebrating this 4th of July. I know y'all can't wait. I'm going to be out there with the grills and everything out. And you still going to be talking about Black Lives Matter. You understand how hypocritical you look? The oppressor is laughing at you right now. He's laughing at you. But then you got to go back and realize something. You got to understand that not just that we are two manner of people, the oppressor moves in a different way than we do. Because he's a different nation. He was blessed with the sword. You out there protesting. The oppressor did the same thing. He warned everybody. Remember when the oppressor got so upset that they got together, they grabbed their AR-15s and they went down to the Capitol buildings? What did they have when they went down to the Capitol buildings? They had nooses when they stormed the Capitol buildings in Detroit. Who do you think the noose was for? Oh, wait. You know, in the month of June, they found 6 of our brothers and sisters hung. They were saying if you continue to have this shut down, the country shut down due to COVID-19, we're going to go out there and we're going to start hanging niggas and sticks. And guess what they started to do? They started to continue to hang us. That's why I asked earlier, what are we really free from? You celebrate Juneteenth, talk about we free, and we still getting hung as Black and Hispanic people. It is 2020 and we still getting hung. But I thought the Emancipation Proclamation, 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, I thought that fixed everything. You mean to tell me that we are having the same issue with the same devil that we had in 1865 during the 1920s with Jim Crow, with Tulsa, Oklahoma, with Rosewood, hell, in the 1940s and 50s and 60s during the Civil Rights Movement, in the 1980s when they firebombed that neighborhood in West Philadelphia? You mean to tell me we still have this same problem with this devil? But you mean to tell me that voting is going to change it? Lie. This is why the COVID-19 is here. This is why the Most High sent the coronavirus, man, because the coronavirus can shut the oppressor down. He don't know what to do. He is confounded. Paraphrasing in Isaiah 47:3, his shame is uncovered. And the Most High said, I will not meet you as a man, even though Trump believed that he can face the invisible enemy. You can't go up against the Most High. You're not going to meet you as a man, Trump. Trump want everything to be open for the 4th of July. You know that, right? He was sick of the Most High shut down Easter. Think about that for a minute. The Most High set down this COVID-19, this coronavirus, and it shut the economy down. It shut the city down. It shut the world down. They shut down their precious holidays one by one. They couldn't have their Easter. Them kids couldn't go out there, you know what I mean, and collect eggs and eat candy and wear your Sunday best and go to that church and have that preacher sleep with your wife and molest your kids. The Lord said, lie out of hell with that. That should tell you right there that the Lord ain't with the Christian church and ain't with Easter. You're going to find out come 4th of July, too. The Most High is not with the oppressors' holidays, man. We can go into that. I know y'all can't wait to go out there and celebrate. You out there riding, you marching now, you so-called fake mad. That's what you are. You fake mad. Because if you was really upset, and I want to say this loud and clear, man. If you are truly upset and outraged as you claim to be at the deaths of Rashad Brooks, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd, stop selling drugs to your people, to your brother and your sister. Stop having abortions. Stop killing your own. Separate from the oppressor. Don't celebrate his holidays. If you are really outraged, we're going to find out. And it don't matter how many little stupid internet challenges that you do on Twitter and Instagram, blacking out your profile, the oppressor's laughing at you. You want to hit the oppressor where it hurt? Don't go out there and buy that red, white, and blue and buy them fireworks. This is all idol worship anyway, man. We're going to go to Amos chapter 5 and verse 21. Did you know that the Most High spoke about these holidays? That the Most High is against them? This is Amos chapter 5, verse 21. It says, I despise your feast days. Now, class, I want y'all to type in, what is the key word in this scripture, Amos 5 and 21? And don't be confounded that the Lord hates, because that trip a lot of Christians up. They be like, well, not my God. Not my Jesus, you got. God don't hate. Come on, man. It's time to order. The Lord is saying right here, I despise your feast days, your 4th of July, your Thanksgiving, your Christmas, hell, your birthday and your Happy New Year. Guess what? The Lord despises that. All of it. Come on, man. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. You're going to go out there, and you're going to fry up, and you're going to go out there with the grill, you're going to throw the chicken, you're going to throw the chicken out there, you're going to throw the burgers out there, nation platters out there, and guess what? The Lord is not going to smell none of that. He ain't going to smell. You don't understand how silly you look celebrating his holidays, and meanwhile, you got the nerve to be mad about the oppressor killing your brother and your sister. Come on now. What you mad for? This is the oppressor's nature. And you still glorify him. That's why we went to Romans. I paraphrase Romans 1 and 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie? You worship the creature. How do we know you worship that creature? You're not mad at it. You're not serving the Lord. Because if you were serving the Lord, you'd be in class. You'd be in the Israelite school and you'd be class. This is the home of the truth. Your pastor proved that he failed you when COVID-19 came and he left. Your imam proved that he failed you when he shut every jihad down, every masjid, and shut Saudi Arabia down. You can't go to Mecca right now and slam your face to that rock. The Lord showed you that the church ain't essential, and that Islam ain't essential, and your black Negro is talking all that African spirituality and everything that don't have nothing to do with the Lord. He shut all that down. That's why, as a matter of fact, I'll do that real quick. We'll go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 19. Because I heard a lot of foolishness this Israel. A lot of foolishness when this COVID-19 happened. And when they shut down these churches, these imams and these, and all these other black groups and all these different religions, when it got shut down, everybody started pleading the fifth and making excuses. Y'all remember, correct me if I'm wrong, when they out here saying, well, brother, we can't get the COVID-19 because we got melanin. You know what I mean? We gods. You know what I'm saying? Nah, brother. As soon as we start to get the coronavirus, oh man, you see, they put that 5G tower out there. Now that I got 5G walls. I got them 5G bars on my phone. Now, the radiation is radiating off my skin. That's why we getting sick, man. The oppressor is doing that. Silly Negro. You mean to tell me the oppressor needs to go through all of the trouble of creating a tower and emulating radiation so it can kill you slowly? I thought him putting his knee on your neck was effective. I thought him gunning you down in the streets and in your home was effective. I thought him raping, robbing, and murdering us and our Hispanic brothers at the border was effective. You mean to tell me that he had to go through the trouble and create a tower and do it that way? Come on now, the oppressor is not wasting precious resources when he can do it the old-fashioned way, by the sword, because Esau was blessed with the sword. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 18. This is for all you black Negroes that claim you got some type of knowledge, wisdom, or understanding. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 19 says, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. The wisdom of this world. You may think you smart. You may think you are somebody in this world, that you got some type of higher knowledge, that you may subscribe to Kemetic spirituality. You may think you a Nubian. You may be a Christian or a Muslim. Guess what? Your wisdom is foolishness with God. Because if you're not putting the Most High first and doing what He says, keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, guess what? It don't matter what you know. You are a fool in the eyes of the Most High. And you look real silly. Because they going to celebrate it too. Them same black Negroes talking about the COVID-19 and how it was created by Esau in the lab and they're using that to kill us. Guess what? They going to celebrate 4th of July. They're going to be out there like, man, you know what I mean? The devil created this. Pass the chicken. Let me get some of that potato salad. Pass me the Corona. You're going to be out there still glorifying the oppressor, which goes to show you hate your brother and your sister. You exalt the oppressor over the Most High. This is why God says his sins have reached unto heaven. You exalt the oppressor over the Most High, when the Most High is the one that brought us up out of Egypt. The Most High is the one that brought us up out of Babylon, that brought us up out of Assyria and out of Rome. But you can tell me, you have to put your faith in the oppressor? Come on now. This is why when we read in Isaiah, the Lord ain't going to meet them as a man. And it just goes to show you what can happen if the Most High is with you. Before I was in dialogue, I want to go into some brothers that knew that the Lord was with them, that knew that the Most High God was with them. We're going to go to the book of Daniel. We're going to go to Daniel chapter 3 and verse 1. This is the Thursday night history class. Now, we're going to read about 3 brothers that came up against Babylon. The same way how in the Israelite school we became about how we coming up against Babylon today. And we are praying for its fall because it's going to fall. Now, in the book of Daniel, in the 3rd chapter, now, I'm going to start at verse 3 and 1. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth of thereof was 6 cubits, and it set up in the plain of Iran in the province of Babylon. Now, we got carried away in Babylon because we didn't listen to what the Lord said. We wasn't keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. We was worshiping Dagon, God under the sun. Don't that sound familiar? That's what you're doing today. You worshiping Caesar Borgia, you worshiping Islam and Allah. It was the same way here. Now, Nebuchadnezzar made himself, you know what I mean, a golden image, a false idol. And he's about to make a decree. I'm going to skip down to verse 8. Wherefore at the time where the Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews, verse 9, so they spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. O thou king, that thou made a decree that every man shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and consumer, and all kinds of music. They shall fall down and worship the golden image. Nebuchadnezzar and his governors, and the men he had over Babylon and over us, made a decree that if you don't bow down to this golden image, this false image, then guess what? You're going to be thrown in the fiery furnace. That, they said when all the music and everything was played, that this would be heard of the Jews, all of the Jews besides 3 righteous men laid down and bowed down to that image. They found out, they was given the ultimatum. You can either bow down to this image or you can go in that burning furnace. And guess what? You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a lot of Israel to this day. If the oppressor came out and said, you either going to do this or that, you're going to tap out. How many of you are going to stand up against the oppressor and say, you know what, man, I trust the Lord so much, I don't care. I'll go in that burning furnace. Everyone in that Christian church that claimed they holier than thou and they can do all things through Christ, they were the same ones that bowed their face down before they worshiped the creature more than they worshiped the Most High. See how that still applies? That's why Romans chapter 15 and verse 4 says, for everything written aforetime was written for our learning. And this is the third day history class, and we're going to go into it now. Verse 11 says, whoso falleth not down and worship, that he should be cast in the midst of a burning, fiery furnace. Meaning Nebuchadnezzar is like, yo, if you're not going to bow down to this image, you going in this fiery furnace. You going to burn the hell up. Man, going to read on. Verse 12, there are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the prophets of Babylon. Remember these brothers' names, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These righteous brothers right here, we about to read about, they said, man, the hell with Nebuchadnezzar. The hell with Babylon. Throw me in that fiery furnace. How many of y'all have that type of zeal for the Most High? You just said, come on, hell with Nebuchadnezzar. And these were men that were in high station. These were men, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego they weren't just the average Jew here in Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar set them over provinces to handle affairs, which means they were high up in Babylonian society. It sounds like how your pastor is high up now and how Al Sharpton is being used by the government, by the FBI. But he wouldn't dare go up against Donald Trump and the oppressor. That's why, Christ said in John the 8th chapter, ye are your father the devil. But Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego said, even though we got placed at a high station here in Babylon, they said, man, the hell with that. The hell with Nebuchadnezzar. Who do we think he is? I know he put us in a high position. I need you to understand that Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego could have easily tapped out. They could have easily said, no, we got it good in Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar, we get us good food, we make good money. We ain't like everybody else. We forget the Lord. We're gonna serve Nebuchadnezzar and bow down. Even though they had a high station, they said the hell with him. The hell with him. And a good example of that is, look at the NFL. The NFL hired Jay-Z, right? And Jay-Z became, whatever type of title they gave him. And Jay-Z said, Jay-Z put an end to the players kneeling. Jay-Z didn't go up against Roger Goodell in the NFL. He didn't do that. He tapped out. It's the same thing, using a sports analogy. They mad at Kyrie Irving because Kyrie said we need to start our own league. Shannon Sharp, who y'all love, who y'all call Uncle Shay Sharp, Kendrick Perkins, Stephen A. Smith, that crew, they came up against Kyrie and said, no, man, who are you to go up against Babylon? Who are you to go up against, the NBA, the NFL? Who are you to go up against America? They tapped out. But Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego did not tap out. They said, the hell with Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon. And we're going to read about these righteous brothers a little bit more. These men, O king, have regarded not thee. Now the others the other Babylonians, they like, yo, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, they not bowing down, Nebuchadnezzar. Who them niggas they is? You said that if they didn't bow down, they're going to go in the fiery furnace. They not bowing down to your image. You want to know why? Because Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego were righteous men. They understood and they served the Most High. The scriptures say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. They did not fear Babylon. They did not fear Nebuchadnezzar. And that's the problem with our people today. Our people fear America, but you should fear the Most High God. You need to fear the Lord and not fear Babylon, not fear America. Man. And it says, they serve not thy God, nor worship the golden image. And they snitch like, man, who do you niggas think they is? They not worshiping the golden image, Nebuchadnezzar. They trying you right now. Verse 13 says that Nebuchadnezzar in his rage, he mad now. This heathen burning hot now. Nebuchadnezzar like, who the fuck think they are? Slapping them like, who they think they is? Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. I put you in this high station right here in Babylon. You ain't like everybody else. You ain't doing grunt work. I got you handling the affairs. You making good money in that. I gave you all. Listen, you not going to serve me? You not going to serve my God? I got something for you. We're about to read about what Nebuchadnezzar did and how he followed through on what he said he was going to do. Now, It says, in his rage and fury commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, then brought these men before the king. Now they stand before Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, is it true? Is it true that y'all coming up against me? Is it true you're not gonna serve me? Don't you know you in Babylon? You ain't in Israel no more. You ain't in Jerusalem. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar said unto them, is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do you not serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Verse 15 says, now if you be ready, that at what time you hear. Now he pleaded the fifth with him. He said, now I'm going to do it again. Now, when you hear the cornet, the harp, the sackbut, the palter, the shimmer, and all the kind of music, you fall down and worship the image which I have made. But if you worship not, you will be cast the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. He said, man, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to play the music and everything again, because I don't think you heard me the first time. Look how arrogant Nebuchadnezzar is. Nebuchadnezzar is displaying the same arrogance that it's how you know Babylon and America is the same, man. America is even worse, even a greater whore than Babylon ever was. But you see the type of monster and type of arrogance that Nebuchadnezzar has. He like, I'm going to do it again, and we're going to see. But what Nebuchadnezzar says right here, I want this to register for every Black, Hispanic, and Native American, Indian, First Nation man on what we need to do and how, what kind of faith we need to have in our God, which can show the Lord is with you, what can happen. Nebuchadnezzar said, who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? You see what this heathen said to Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego? He said, what God is going to deliver you from me? The arrogance of this heathen. Daddy, what do you think Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego did? You think they folded? You think they folded? You think they bowed down and said, you know what, man, maybe the Lord ain't going to deliver it. Let's just bow down. We can still keep our high station. We can keep that fiery furnace away from me. Let's read what these righteous brothers did, man. Verse 16. Verse 16 says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. They're like, man, I'm not so sure you want to hear what we got to say. He said, you said all that. We hear you, Nebuchadnezzar. We hear you, but you sure you want to hear our response? Let's read what these righteous brothers had to say, man. They said, if it be so, our God whom serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. He said, man, if it be so, our God will deliver us from that fiery furnace. We ain't worried about that fiery furnace. You can throw me in there. Throw away the key. Lock me in there. My God will save me. As Nebuchadnezzar so arrogantly said, who's God going to be? You think your God going to save you? Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego said, you damn right. And this is the hardcore part about what Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego said afterwards, which lets you know that they won west. And we're going to read about what the brother said. And he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, they said, man, but if he don't do it, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego said, man, even if the Lord don't deliver us out of that fiery furnace, be it known unto thee, O king, meaning I'll make it known unto you. Even if the Lord don't deliver us out of your hand, guess what? That we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image that thou hast set up. You see how hardcore that is? How many of you can say that? They said, man, the Lord will deliver us. But even if he don't, guess what? We still not going to bow down to you in Babylon. This is why Christ said, man, in 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15, man, I mean, love not the world. These are the things that are in the world, man. Christ was trying to tell our people during that time, don't love Rome. Don't love the oppressor. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego did not love Babylon and Nebuchadnezzar. They loved the Most High God. That's why when Christ told our people to come out of her, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego already knew this, man. They said they already knew that they served a God that parted a Red Sea, that took out the giants of the land, man, and gave us the best land, gave us Zion, gave us Jerusalem, gave us Israel. What the hell do I look like bowing down to your golden image? The hell we look like doing that? He said, even if the Lord don't deliver us out of your hand, guess what? We gonna die righteously. And that's what it was. We're gonna read over. Verse 19. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury. Oh, he's hot, man. Nebuchadnezzar is hot. He's burning up right now. He cannot believe what they said. He like, man, who do these niggas think they are? We're going to read on in 1 second. Slap this road. Nebuchadnezzar said, then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his vision was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than what it was. Man, Nebuchadnezzar said, listen, who these niggas think they are? You know what? Guess what? I want you to heat this furnace 10 times more hotter. I want you to burn this up. I want these brothers to burn to a crisp. Who the hell do they think they are coming up against me in my kingdom? I need you to understand how powerful and how one was Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego was. To come up against Babylon. At this point in time, Babylon is the most powerful nation on the earth. And for three brothers that serve the Lord, that honor the Lord, to come up against this kingdom, they say, man, even if the Lord don't deliver us, we ain't going to do this. That was heavy. That was heavy. Man, and Nebuchadnezzar was burning hot at this. Now, he said, and into the burning furnace. Now, these men were bound in their coats, and their hats and their other garments were cast into the midst of the fire. Therefore, because the king's commandment was so urgent, the furnace burning exceedingly hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. This fire that Nebuchadnezzar had his men set, you know what I mean, so hot. He said it could be so hot that it burned up his own men. That's how hot these flames was. And they threw our brothers in there. We're going to read about what happened. We're going to read verse 23. And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And then verse 24. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste and spake, and said unto his counselors, did we not cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? He said, hold up, man. Didn't we throw 3 men in there? We threw 3 men in there, didn't we? I thought we threw 3. Hold on. We're going to read. They answered and said unto the king, true, O king. He said, yeah. But verse 25, he answered and said, lo, I see 4 men loose. He said, I see 4. He said, I see 4 men loose. Meaning what? Meaning the angel of the Lord was with Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, right? Was with them. And Nebuchadnezzar was astounded at what he saw. He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it at all. Shalom, y'all. He could not believe what he saw. He's like, God damn, didn't I send 3 men in there? How do I see 4? Now, it says, walking in the midst of the fire and they have no hurt. He said, hold on, man, they walking around and they not even hurt. How can this be possible? That fire that we set up and burned up, it destroyed the men that set the fire. We're going to read on. And the form of the 4th is like unto the Son of Man, meaning Most High sent the angel of the Lord down, man, to protect Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. Which goes to show you, man, which goes to show you that if the Lord is with you and if you honor the Lord and you keep the law, statutes, and commandments, you'd be surprised at what you can do, Israel. We'll finish this last point. Verse 26 says, and Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth. Now Nebuchadnezzar, now he know who the Most High is. Now he know. Earlier in the chapter, as we read, he was talking trash, talking about, man, what God gonna deliver you out of my hand? Now he like, man, I know who the Lord is. And you know who else had that same look on his face? Pharaoh had that same look when the death angel passed over Israel, our people, and killed every firstborn of the Egyptians. Yes. And spake unto Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth from the midst of the fire. Listen, man. It just goes to show you that if you do the will of the Most High, because Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego did not bow down to Babylon, man. They did not crumble under pressure. And that's how we have to be. That's the type of energy that every Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian needs to have. Not to crumble under the oppression of this beast. Gather yourself together here in the Israelite school at UPK, man. And become anew, man. Let that old man die with Christ and become anew. And keep the laws, statutes, and commandments and have faith in our King, man. Only here in the Israelite school at UPK. With that being said, I'm going to pass the class off to Priest and off to Daniel.
Appreciate it. Bear with me. Bear with me. That was a heavy point you was bringing out too, because that's just like every leader that we had. Every leader that we had, we feel like, no one can come and save Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Everybody feel like this is just, something that's just going to continue to go on. Just like I read, somebody posted a question online. I think Chicago had like 104 killings or something.
Right.
And they was like, damn, where do we go from here? And the rapper responded and was like, this is nowhere to go. This is just it. This is just how the city is. There's no change. There's no help. It's like they hit that point of where they feel as though there's no hope. So they go with what's left that they think is right, which is just killing, robbing, a bunch of wickedness. But little do they know, it is hope. It is hope out of it, There is one last chance. It's like the end games. Donald, he's everybody away, and they sitting around stressed. They sitting around stressed, feeling like there's no hope. Where do they go from here? And then they, figured out that it was one last hope. But that last, hope that they figured out, they felt as though it was impossible. Like it was almost like, yo, we might as well not even try this. Like, who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? Until they tried it and it worked. It took sacrifice. It cost them something, and it took a lot of sacrifice. And it's the same way with this truth, man. It's just like people was at the point where they feel as though there's no hope. But it's just that one last thing that they didn't try because they feel as though like, what the hell am I going to stop being poor? Like, what difference does that make, man? What difference does not, stealing make when I need it? How you gonna tell somebody not to steal when they got 4 kids in the house hungry, and you telling them not to steal? Like, how does that sound to somebody? Especially when you don't give them a solution afterwards. Like I seen a video where a brother was out at the protest yelling at the people that was protesting, and he was like, man, what is your solution? And the brother was like, I don't know. Do you got a solution? And he gonna say no. And I'm sitting there like, you out there yelling at people for protesting, but then when they ask you if you got a solution, you say no. So you got no solution for these people, but you out there yelling at them. That's going in one ear, not the other. Like it just don't matter at this point. It just do not matter at this point. And just like I had a conversation with the brother earlier, and we was talking about the story that I'm gonna go in, which is the which is China Dog Festival, the dog meat festival. You know, the spies, you know, the coronavirus still running rapidly over there. They still decide to open up. You know, still decide to open up, and right before your eyes, the Most High showing you everything, you know, that we didn't talk about. Everything that we didn't talk about. You know, listen, man, we in the end times.
Right.
We in the end times, there's no getting around it. There's nothing you can do but, you know, get into the ISUPK.
Right.
Start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. That is the last hope. That is the hope that people feel as though, you know, there's no point in doing it. It's impossible. Like, it's everything people gave it a shot without even thinking, you know, because it seemed like it worked. But those things really didn't require no type of sacrifice, you know. But this is the last hope, the very last hope, you know. When you get a chance, pull up that story.
Okay, China Dog Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Listen, take a walk through Chinatown. Is there Chinatown in your city?
Mm-hmm.
Take a walk through Chinatown. I did it plenty of times. Just took a walk through Chinatown. You would be surprised of the type of skint animals you would see hanging in the windows. And there's no chickens, no turkey. It's the type of animals they got on display. You would be surprised. Go ahead.
And you wonder why it costs $4.
And you wonder why it's $4. Everything is so cheap. I done walked through there. I done seen barbecue ducks hanging in the window. Right. I done seen frogs, lizards, octopus, all types of stuff.
Right.
All types of stuff they got that they sell. They don't sell no normal food over there. Like you can't get no turkey or none of that over there. That's like foreign. That's not even there. Like cat and dog and duck to Chinese people was like chicken to black people. Like that's just they go to. You got the story?
Come on, pass it to the TV so they have a video.
Yeah, that's all I was gonna say too. When I looked at it, it was a video. Play that video. It's sick. Go ahead.
So I was gonna say, isn't that something that they've always done in Haiti? Because didn't they like follow the laws and stuff up until like the whole what was it?
Sodom and Gomorrah, John?
Yeah, when they were looking at where they found the laws.
Yeah, every nation, Israel, always like them. That's why even when you look at African culture, they eat brain, guts. Like I seen they gutted a cow and just ate the organs and threw the whole cow away. Meat in that. Like they do stuff like that. And every nation really do it. Every nation really eat like that. The Chinese is just more out in the open with it. And they more disgusting. You know, you might get some Africans that might not eat dogs and nothing release, but they eat all type of other animals and whatnot. The Chinese they eat like that because they never had any laws to follow. You know, the guys that they make up never come with a dietary law. The guy was the only one that came with a dietary law. The children of Israel were the only ones that have a dietary law. No other religion come with a dietary law. And no type of morals or anything. Egyptology, even Islam. Islam laws is based off the Bible. They don't have their own separate laws. And Hinduism, Buddhism, you know, all those religions don't have no dietary laws. So them eating whatever they want, they can do it. And even Islam, they say if you in the Quran, or might be in the Hadith, if you stranded and pork is the only thing you can eat, then you're allowed to eat. It's not a sin. Like they don't have no goddamn. That's basically anything that's stranded on the island, and if it's the only thing to eat, you can eat. Like they have no dietary laws.
I know the story. It's taking a while to do.
That's you can go into the story to this goes up.
Okay. China's controversial dog meat festival opens despite government pushback.
The government didn't want them to open and had this festival. China still did it. Why? Because that's a tradition that they keep, and they're not going against their traditions because of some virus. They're gonna eat them goddamn dogs. And the way that they even kill the dogs, man, that's just sick. Like they don't even put the damn dog to sleep. They just hit the dog right over the head, send him in a shock. Or sometimes they hit him over the head when they go in the shock. They just throw him in a pot of boiling water while he's alive, kicking and screaming. Yeah, let me see. Go into a little bit more.
China's controversial dog meat festival has kicked off despite new pushes from government to improve animal welfare for health reasons, stemming from the coronavirus pandemic.
Right. They got to at one point they banned the eating of wild animals. You couldn't eat, those type of animals at one point. And then after a while, they just like, man, the hell with that. I'm tired of going into a restaurant and all I got to eat is some goddamn chicken. I'm asking for the dog, they ain't got it. I'm asking for the cat, they ain't got it. I'm asking for the octopus, they don't got it. They got a nerve to try to serve me some goddamn chicken. We need to do something about this, Reed.
Thousands typically flock to the 10-day festival in the southwestern city of Yulin, but activists said attendance this year has plummeted, and they are hoping that the event will be the last.
Which it ain't. That is not going to be the last event. Chinese people not doing the dog meat festival. Man, if they doing all this, you can bet it's not going to be the last. Read.
I do hope Yulin will change not only for the sake of the animals, but also for the health and safety of its people, said Peter Lee, China policy specialist of animal rights group Humane Society International. Allowing mass gatherings to trade in and consume dog meat in crowded markets and restaurants in the name of a festival possesses a significant public risk, he said.
Read.
The government is considering new laws to ban the wildlife trade and safeguard pets after the coronavirus outbreak forced the country to reassess its relationship with animals.
Yeah, so they started the wildlife, all those type of animals that's not supposed to be eaten. They banned them because they understanding that a lot of these, especially the coronavirus, a lot more disease will start to come from eating of these type of animals. When you just eating these animals just cause, y'all bound to discover something. Anything they got meat on it, they just want to eat. That's it. I Googled the pangolin just to see how they do it. And it's just, they skin it. It's just like anything with meat, they just eat. In their mind, if it got meat and it's not human, they can eat it. Right. So they just out there in the wilderness, or they just out there, and they see an animal that's running past that got a little meat on it, and they eat it, which is any goddamn thing. Which is the Most High understood that that's why he made a dietary law. The Most High made a dietary law because he knew the type of things that can come from eating these animals. Like a lot of these animals carry certain diseases. They carry a certain disease, but that disease don't make them sick or don't kill them. It's just something that actually helps them. It helps them live. Like a bat. They said a bat has a natural fever of 114. That's just how it lives. So some of these animals carry certain disease in them because that disease is actually good for them. But when it gets transferred to a human, our immune system can't take something like that. So it breaks us down and it winds up killing us.
Right.
Read a little bit more of the story.
The coronavirus was believed to have originated in bats before infecting humans in a wild animal market in the city of Wuhan.
Ain't no believe. It is. It's I'm a believe coronavirus. It is. Trying to downplay it. They're always trying to water something down. Allegedly and believe. Nah, coronavirus came from the eating of bats. Everybody know that.
Right.
And it's a shame because this been going on for what, 5, 6 months, and still we here today. Just new stories coming out, you know, and it's just getting worse. Like we said. Go ahead.
I was like, what you bringing out is so heavy, sir. I remember you read the reports where it was like, well, you know, hopefully during the summertime, the COVID-19 should go down. Now look at everybody. Now you just hot and you sick.
And you sick. And they try to say the summer it's going to be better because it can't live in heat. Okay, but it live in your body. When you get the COVID, you get a fever of 103, 104, and deal with it for the next 2 weeks. So what do you mean it can't live in heat? It seems like it live in heat just fine.
Right.
You know, live in heat just fine. Your body heats up and get a fever because that's your body way trying to kill the, you know, foreign object or a foreign body that's in you. So your body heats up and it tries to kill it all. But what happens after a few days? It just don't work and you just still sick. So they try to make them believe that the summertime gonna come, it's gonna be hot out, so we got a better chance. That didn't work because this is something you can't get rid of based off of your genius doctors or your scientists that's in the lab that's trying to cook up an antidote to fix this. Nah, that's not how it's going. That's not how it's going to get cured. It's not how it's going to get cured. It's going to get cured by keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. That's exactly how it's going to get cured. And if anybody got any questions, type them in. If not, I'm gonna just move on. And there's no questions in the room, right? All right, cool. So finish on with the story.
Come. The country imposed a ban in late February on the sale and consumption of wild animals, such as bats and snakes, claiming the issue had become a health concern.
Of course it became a health concern. Of course. You eating something that shouldn't be eaten just because it got meat on it. Of course it's going to be a health concern. Read.
Come. The Agricultural Ministry, however, has moved to classify dogs as pets rather than livestock, promoting questions about how the change will impact Yulin's trade. Still, Shenzhen became the first city in the country in April to ban the consumption of dogs, with others expected to follow suit.
And that's a goddamn shame. They got to pass a law saying that they consider dogs as pets and not livestock.
Right.
A dog is a pet and it shouldn't be eaten. But you can't tell that they don't have pets. You know?
Right.
They don't have pets. They the type of people that need a goddamn pet. Because Lord knows when they families hit a roadblock, start struggling and ain't got no food, that dog is gone. That dog is out of here. Go ahead.
So OAS is like right next to ourselves, so somebody lives in our village, so that's more like some people that live like right next door. They got like 4 dogs, I think, or 3 dogs, like 4 cats. And I was like, the dogs was going on, and like, as soon as you walk out, and I was like, I don't know how you doing all that. They were the first ones to eat you.
Right.
They cried for help.
Right. They cry for help. They know in about 6 months when times get hard, they're gonna be like, they had 4 dogs. I've only seen 3 now. See, they're gonna be like, damn, I know they had 4 dogs, why only 2? What happened to the cats? The next thing you know, they're gonna be living good.
Right.
Them dogs crying for help. They like, let me loose, I won't bite you. You would just run away. Yeah, them people is disgusting, man. Them people is disgusting. Go ahead, read on.
Last bit says, but banning dog meat consumption is going to be hard and will take some time.
Because it's something they always did. It's something they always ate dog food. Now they feeling like, why ban it now because of a disease? We don't know if we can get the coronavirus from dog meat. Nobody getting sick. So until then, you know, That's wrong to ban it. But ban it because dogs is goddamn pets.
Right.
They're not meant to be eaten.
Right.
You know, they is not meant to be eaten.
Mm-hmm.
And they over there fighting against them. Which is sad, man. Which is sad. And that's exactly why the Most High made us the dietary law for the simple fact of us realizing that certain things we can and can't eat, just for the simple fact of, you know, us being in captivity under these other nations, we start to live like them. We start to live like them. But I just want to see when everything starts to open back up, how many people really gonna go to the, you know, Chinese stores. There's a few Chinese stores that I've seen that still haven't opened back up. There's some of them that's still hanging on, but I've seen a lot of them that haven't opened up. And when they do, I don't even think they sell food like that. They be selling like the sodas, juices, the snacks and everything. Like they don't really cook or anything. Like people ain't trusting them no more. So
You know what's I just thought about it. So some Moabs took over they eat from like old coffee stores that's like down near like the laundromat.
Mhm.
It was crazy. They took it over and did the exact same setup they used to do. Maybe now they do cheesesteak, French fries, and all that. So now they know how to get business off the us and not sell their food because they copy the exact same way.
yeah, they do it all the time. Just like in where I'm from in Southwest, Woodland Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Woodland Avenue about like 10, 15 years ago was avenue full of all black stores. Barbershop, sneaker stores, food stores, restaurants. Yeah, all that. And now when you go to Woodland Avenue, all the barbershops is owned by Moab. They in there cutting hair. The jewelry shops owned by them. Sneaker stores owned by them. It's just now they, just like you said, they gonna start to realize that we can't sell food out this Chinese store like that because everybody gonna think it's cat. Everybody gonna think it's cat. So now they gonna start taking over the poppy stores and they gonna start cooking French fries. They gonna try to cook normal food. But I don't give a damn if they in there selling cheese steaks and hamburgers. I'm still not trusting it. And also too, Moab own most of them Puerto Rican stores too.
Right.
So that'd be the thing. Like they own, the Puerto Ricans be in there running the store, but Moab own the building and all that. So it seems like it's a floppy store, but it's really them. So they probably, whoever they was renting that out to, probably just kicked them to the curb and was like, look, we want our building. Probably didn't let them renew their lease. Just did that. So damn near all of the poppy stores in the hood is owned by Moab. Owned by Moabite. You know what I mean? Owned by Moabite. So they ain't gonna be renewing their leases, and they're just gonna be kicking them out and just taking over. Is there any more in that story?
That was it, sir.
That was it?
Total con.
All right, cool. All right, let's get the next one. The next one, the 3 most popular states. Let's go into that. Let's go into that. All that ties into this.
Texas governor hopes reopening as coronavirus crisis. California's.
Think about how many states that's closing down now too. Starting to close down. They got that on there. Read.
Yeah, Texas governor halts reopening as coronavirus crisis grows. California declares budget emergency. Texas Governor Greg Abbott paused at any further phase to reopen the state on Thursday and issued an order to ensure hospital beds are available for COVID-19 patients.
They like, look, everything is starting to reopen. Plane tickets is hella cheap. You know, they just had Juneteenth. You know, everybody out of Atlanta partying. You know, a lot of states are going into the green phase. Philadelphia about to go into the green phase when I think tomorrow. the 26th, Philadelphia is supposed to go into the green phase, or I think it's July 6th or something, or a 3rd, one of them. June 26th or July 3rd, Philadelphia is supposed to open back up. That's when a lot of stores is reopening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just to be closed back down by September. And they know that. They just gonna reopen, make as much money as they can because the economy is taking a hit just to close back down in September. That's why Trump already talking about giving out the second stimulus checks.
Right.
There's no need to give out a second stimulus check if the country is reopening. But now Trump is saying we getting one because he know we gonna need it. We definitely gonna need it. But go ahead, read on.
Come. Abbott's moves came as his state, California and Florida, the three most populous, set records for new coronavirus cases daily amid fears of apocalyptic surges in major Texas cities if the trend continues.
So it's gonna be an apocalyptic. That make me think of that the movie that Captain the Car coming up with.
Right.
The one that he came up with months ago, last year actually. Almost 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the script that he wrote is playing out right before our eyes. They looking at it like, look, it might be apocalyptic. I remember one article where they said that it seemed like the coronavirus is mutating. And they scared to make a vaccine because they think the vaccine might make it stronger. Mm-hmm. They think the vaccine might make it stronger. You might get that vaccine shot, and that thing you might wake up with some superpowers or something. You might wake up like Venom. You gonna wake up like Venom, and they scared of that. So now they like, look, these numbers is skyrocketing, man. These it's scary.
I was going to say, they wouldn't give it the vaccine, the coronavirus would take it like a shot of trend.
Oh!
Right. Right. They're gonna grow arms and legs in your body. Right, you gonna get that shot, you like, coronavirus, what the hell is this? You're gonna take it like a shot of Henny or something. Corona gonna control you how. Remember that episode of SpongeBob when Plankton was in his head?
Yeah.
That's how the coronavirus is gonna be. It's gonna control your body when you get that vaccine. Because it's there's no curing it. It's no curing it, man. The way that America want to do it. But read on.
Come. California's Governor Gavin Newsom declared a budget emergency to free up $16 billion to fight the pandemic, according to a release from his office.
Yeah, Trump not liking that. Trump already felt some type of way that they was releasing these numbers. And then what he say? He said, you want to bring the numbers down, just stop letting people get tested. That's how you bring the numbers down. Just stop letting people get tested. Like, how the hell you say that? Read on.
Con.
Go ahead.
I gotta read this out. I'm glad he brought that out, sir. It was so heavy. He tweeted earlier, and I have his direct tweet, where he said the number of China virus cases goes up because of great testing, while the number of deaths mortality rate goes way down. The fake news doesn't like telling you that.
Lying. Listen, you can't trust nothing that idiot say. And then you keep calling it the China virus.
Right.
Disrespectful. He just keeps disrespecting them, man. He ain't got listen. Trump don't give a damn. Trump ain't got no picks.
Right.
And he just like I said, he was gonna fire I think it was the manager or something of the CDC. Go ahead.
Like you saw the person that said they wanted to test against how the supposed vaccine that he was going to create was even like, real.
Yeah, Yeah, and I know I think it was like the manager of the CDC. He was going to fire them, saying that because they was the CDC website, the owner of that, he was going to fire them because he was saying that the statistics that they was releasing of the coronavirus was like inaccurate. He think they was messing the numbers up. Go ahead.
Yeah, it wasn't updated. Meaning they're not giving you real time how many people are dying, how many people are getting sick. They just taking a tally, old fashioned, wild west. How many people are in this town? You know what I mean?
Right.
So they get it from yesterday, really. So it wasn't accurate.
Right, and he wanted to fire him for it. But just making him look bad. Because out of all the trash he talked, it seemed like he was losing.
Right.
With these numbers, you're clearly losing with all this trash you're talking. He'd be losing, and now the only thing left for him to do is just to start firing people and start putting the blame on other people like they messed up.
Right.
Just like I knew when they started opening up all these other countries that it was going to be articles on spike in the coronavirus.
Right.
Like the numbers was going to go up, and they knew this too. But just like I said, I don't think all the numbers. I think the numbers that they come up with be like months. Like they put out an article saying it was 12,000 new cases within 24 hours, which don't make no sense. It's like 12,000 people did not go to the goddamn hospital. Everybody is in Atlanta, so you're not going to tell me that, what is it?
Like, I had read another part of the article, it said that the government had falsified some of the calculations for the people that had COVID-19 because they assumed that some of those people were going to die. Those numbers, weren't correct. And I know that out because they were trying to figure out who was going to be exposed to like the certain phases and start getting a real trend. And they said that, put up the rates. It was like some of those cases weren't legit because those people did die.
What government got your hand up to you,
I was gonna say what you bring out was just so heavy. About I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theory. So when they was coming out saying, well, we had 6,000 new cases, you mean to tell me after all people went out there and started looting? Like after you got a new pair of J's, you know what I mean? You just went to the hospital to check and see if you had the COVID-19.
When most of them was on the news being wanted for
right.
They was releasing security footage of people breaking into Rite Aid pharmacies. And you mean to tell me they just went and got checked? I think those numbers is coming from, we in June, they start the numbers from December, and they add it from December to June, and then they come up with the case number and say that, but they don't say it. This is all them just trying to scare you or whatnot. Read a little bit more of the story.
Come. The state should pause further reopening of its economy and even toggle back if health officials continue to see increases in infections and hospitalizations, Newsom suggested at a press conference Thursday. And the head of the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention said the U.S. has only counted about 10% of coronavirus infections. That means as many as 20 million Americans have been infected.
20 million. God, man. Read on.
Kind of officially, the coronavirus has killed at least 122,481 people and infected more than 2.4 million nationwide, according to Johns Hopkins University.
Right. Read on, which is the last story we're going to get into, too, which makes it heavy because it's saying by October, the numbers is definitely going to spike by like what, 100 and something thousand? 180,000 is going to be 180,000 more cases or more deaths by October. That's what they estimate. By October. They know all this stuff beforehand. And all this stuff beforehand. The only problem is we know who is being affected by it the most, which is the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. And that's no coincidence. Like that is no coincidence. There's no conspiracy theory. Like it seems like our people are so lost to the point where stuff come out like this, right? Coronavirus, and it affects us the most, right? The first thing they do is think it's a conspiracy theorist from the government trying to kill black people.
Yeah.
But they don't think abortions. They don't think the drugs, you know, the guns, the crate of guns that's being left in the middle of cities. They don't think that's a conspiracy theory, or they don't think that's a plot from the government trying to destroy us. But they say, damn, why is the coronavirus killing us the most? Oh, it's the government trying to get rid of us. Negro, they don't gotta get rid of y'all that way.
Right.
All they can do is put a weed dispensary up in your neighborhood. That's way easier than putting a virus out there that's going to affect them too.
Right.
When they can just put some undercover in your neighborhood and bring all the drugs in there and sell them for half of the price of what you're getting. Or they can open up a second or third abortion clinic in your neighborhood.
Right.
You know, you can look online today and look at the statistics on an area to a place, the foot traffic, what's the, you know, the dominant race there. You could go and do that, and they can set up shop there. Like, they not in no lab creating some secret potion that's going to only affect black people.
Right.
Like, they're not going to do that. You know what they're going to do? They're going to get hundreds of pounds of weed and drop it off somewhere in the neighborhood. Somebody going to find it and come up on it. That's the way they're going to do it. Read on.
Florida detectives announced Wednesday that they had reported more than 5,000 new COVID-19 cases the prior day, a new daily record. California reported more than 7,000 cases, obliterating a record hit a day earlier.
Do they give a time frame when they started or when they discovered it?
Hospitals in California have seen a 32% increase in patients with the coronavirus over the last 14-day period, reaching an all-time high since the pandemic began, Newsom said.
The last 14 days. And what happened? Texas reopened, Atlanta reopened, Florida reopened, California, Philly next. A lot of these states are starting to reopen, and now they are seeing an increase. They knew, oh man, this only affect niggas. Listen, we can reopen, it ain't gonna matter. Don't matter, them niggas was just out looting anyway. I wouldn't be surprised if that was them reopening was payback for us looting. They're like, let's just reopen. You know, they looted, let's reopen. Them niggas gonna get sick anyway. Go ahead.
They're not making you weird. The face mask. I thought when you went to the store and you had, now they're allowed like stores like Rosen and stuff that get camera now. That's to a 50% off. Everybody's in there lining up, and some people don't have a face mask. So that's how it was required. You think that because it's such a serious situation that they're gonna force people to do it in their stores. They don't even care as much.
Right, like every SEPTA bus that I got on before it pulled up, it had the little message playing saying required to wear a face mask or can't get on, something like that. I remember I had my face mask in my book bag and I just forgot to put it on. And before I even got on the bus, the SEPTA driver was like, yo, I can't let you on if you don't put it on. But he didn't even have his on. I haven't got on one SEPTA transportation where the driver had on a mask.
Right.
None of them wear the goddamn mask, but you can't get on if you don't have it. It's just like, they just like, right. I don't want y'all passing it to me. I'm going to call for y'all, but y'all can call for me. If y'all got on the mask, I don't have to wear it. You know, if everybody got on. Read a little bit more.
The number of patients in intensive care units has reached a record high after increasing 19% over the last 2 weeks.
19% over the last 2 weeks. Go ahead.
Florida passed 5,000 again on Thursday, according to a new state data. Florida, Texas, and California account for 27.4% of the 328 million people living in the United States, according to the latest U.S. Census Bureau estimates.
Read.
The last thing we want to do as a state is go backwards and close down businesses. This temporary pause will help our state curb the spread until we can safely enter the next phase of reopening our state for business, Abbott said in a press release.
Yeah, they're losing too much goddamn money. Read.
Earlier this month, he announced that the state was moving into phase 3, meaning that most businesses would operate at 50% capacity. He suspended all elective surgery in hospitals in 4 counties that are home to the cities of San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, and Austin. The counties had significant increases in COVID-19 hospitalizations, Abbott said. Any procedure not immediately necessary to correct a serious medical condition or preserve a life will be postponed. As we will work to contain the virus, I urge all Texans to do their part to help contain the spread by washing their hands regularly, wearing a mask, and practicing social distancing.
Yeah, see, look, it's say if you don't have no life-threatening reason to be in the hospital, they're not going to see you. Which reminds me, when I was walking past the police station talking on my phone, and I was talking to one of my cousins in the world, right? And I was saying to him, I was like, yo, I heard that if somebody come to rob your house, and you call the police, they're not going to come out because it's a robbery. And the police, as I'm saying, the police officer say, no. So I say, because it's not a robbery, what the hell are you supposed to do? Like, what are you supposed to do? And the police officer heard me. He said, oh, no, see, we do come out, but it's 30 days later. And I was like, 30 days later? He was like, yeah, meaning you got to file a police report, and then we go search and lock the person up 30 days later. I was like, so if my house is getting robbed, I cannot call the police because y'all won't come out? He said, it ain't like he was just trying to sugarcoat it. Like, nah, I mean, we will, but 30 days later. I'm like, but y'all not coming out that night. No, we not coming out that night. Go ahead.
You know, that's what I know, because the situation that happened was the brother that they had shot. They were chasing down the car. And so the supposed suspicion was that he was, robbing the neighborhood. They didn't know if it was him or not. So they will go out and, go after somebody immediately when it comes to their neighborhoods.
Or if you call and say, hey, there's a robbery in the neighborhood, he's an African American male. If you say, hey, there's a robbery in progress and it's an African American male, that's enough for them to come out and see what the hell is going on. But even when I say that to him, I'm like, so y'all won't come out that night? He like, nah, you gotta file a police report.
Don't touch it yet.
It gotta be like you gotta be dying, you gotta be shot or stabbed or something. It gotta be like a crazy reason for the police to come out. So even somebody, this is the only way they come out during a robbery. Somebody robbing your house, you catch them, blow their brains out, call them, hey, somebody laying dead on my floor, they was trying to rob my house. That's the only way they coming out. So I was sitting there like, so y'all come out 30 days later? It was like, yeah. I was like, but that's enough time for the person who did it to get away. I would get the hell out of here. Like, how you gonna catch somebody 30 days later? What if they had on a mask? Who are y'all gonna go lock up? Like, I started to think, so he think people robbing houses with no mask on? He's saying, come file a police report, and in 30 days, we're going to go lock the person up. So y'all going to know who did it based off of the description I give y'all with a nigga with a gun and a mask on. It don't make no sense. And I'm sitting there thinking like, damn, it's times like that, because it's like, even with, being pulled over, they don't even pull you over as much, or for like in most instances, when you get pulled over driving with no insurance or license, they take you to jail sometimes, depending on the type of cop you got. They don't even do that now. And I'm like, man, we really living in the end times where a person can get robbed and you can't even call the police for help. You got to be shot. And I believe even if you shot, they probably gonna say, well, are you dying? Nah, it's just a shot in the leg. All right, sir, we can't send help. We think you're going to survive. We can't send help, sir. I'm sorry. It's just a leg shot? Okay, where at? The knee? Okay, it's a flesh wound? Yeah, we can't send help, sir. I'm sorry. take care and hang right up. During the looting, I went up to get some footage of the people looting. A lady was out there yelling, saying, I've been on the phone calling the police for an hour and no one picked up. She dialed 911 for an hour and no one picked up. 911 didn't even pick up the goddamn phone during, which is crazy. Let's read on a little bit more of the story. I don't want to run on too long.
Come. 20 million have been affected. The CDC has been looking at antibody tests done across the country to see how many people had past infections that were not diagnosed at the time, said Dr. Robert Redfield. It's seeing many more cases that have been reported officially.
Listen, give me 2 Thessalonians 1:6.
Come.
Give me that. 2 Thessalonians 1:6.
God is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
Go up to verse 5.
Verse 5. Which is a manifest token of the righteous judgment of God.
Go to verse 4.
So that we ourselves glory in you in the churches of God. For your patience in verse 3. We are bound to thank God always for you, brethren, as it is meet, because that your faith grow exceedingly, and the charity of every one of you all toward each other abounded.
Right, listen, that's brotherhood, man. Like, the faith of these brothers, the faith of the men that came before us, you know, for them keeping the faith, that allows us to continue to have, you know, this knowledge and these traditions that we have today. And you know, that's a good thing to see that. And to see them grow, to see us grow in it. Read.
Verse 4. So that we ourselves glory in you in the churches of God, for your patience and faith in all your persecutions and tribulations that ye endure.
Man, what was laid down before us, man, we glory in you through the Most High. All the persecutions, everything that the school had to go through to get to the point where it's at. It's a glorious thing to see. It's a glorious thing to see when you sitting there and you know, you ain't see a brother walk through the doors in 3 months, 6 months. You sitting there like, damn. You start to feel like, man, we gotta work hard, man. What's going on? I know class starting to look a little empty. It's the same brothers from the last such and such. I mean, this when you go from seeing that to, you know, from even when we was upstairs to now, it's just like, yo, we gotta go downstairs now. There's too many brothers, people coming to stand up. Like that's a glorious thing to see what the school went through from then and then to see it now. Like from the time that you come into the truth to start to witness, you know, what you saw up until now. That's a glorious thing. Read.
Which is a manifest token of the righteous judgment of God, that ye may be counted worthy of the kingdom of God, for which ye also suffer.
You suffer the same thing, man. You're going to be counted worthy as the kingdom of God. Going out on the streets, you know, teaching the truth, dealing with the threats, going back and forth through court, you know, a bunch of things that you're dealing with, making tons of sacrifices, not being able to be home, can't be here, gotta miss this, gotta miss that. So many things you gotta go through, and it's all glorious in the sight of the Most High. It's a glorious thing to see. Read.
Verse 6.
Also, it's a great story to tell. Great story to tell later on down the line, especially to the younger men that's coming up under you, who might be going through certain things or dealing with certain things that you didn't dealt with, and you know the outcome of it. Like it's a glorious thing to hold on to these stories that everybody witnessed, you know, that they go through. Read.
Verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
Read it again.
Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
It's a righteous thing, with the Most High to recompense tribulation unto them that trouble you. What that mean? Most High recompense tribulation. What do that mean? Recompense tribulation. Revenge tribulation. The Most High is going to bring trouble against them who trouble you, which is a righteous thing.
Right.
Which is a righteous thing. Like, listen, for us to be going through this pandemic, we didn't have food drives, did lectures. We've been everywhere, traveling everywhere, and it's glorious to see how the Most High works. Like all these police officers that's getting this coronavirus, to see the America taking the hit that is taken because of the coronavirus, to see so many things happen it's glorious to see the Most High pay back, to them that trouble us. Man, I remember, 16th and Chestnut. We had camp there. We probably had three or four camps there at 16th and Chestnut. And they start complaining. They took us to court. I think they sued the school for like $500 million. It was like a crazy number they sued the school for. They lost the case that same Friday that we went out to have camp. They had it blocked off and they were submitting bike racks right there. They lost the case and it was just like, well, what can we do? All right, well, this is where they stand at, because we couldn't be in the walkway of traffic. So we had to give the people enough room to walk by. So we had where we were standing at was like a perfect spot on the corner. And they built bike racks there. I still remember when we driving in there, we pull up, kept the top logo. Just keep going, man. Like it was just like, what the is going on? Like they really built the bike racks right out there out front of the Liberty place was because of us. Now, go ahead. You about to say something?
What's crazy? My sister the face for it.
Real? And the regular where you could chain your bikes up at. Right. They might have replaced it with the blue bikes that you could rent. But now, I walked past Liberty Place earlier today, and I just stopped and looked at it. It was boarded up. I'm like, God damn. Y'all stopped us from speaking right here about a few years ago. Now look at y'all. Boarded up. Oh,
right.
Most High in Christ. And I just kept walking. I was looking back like, look at the Liberty Place. God damn. Liberty Place is boarded up. The same place that sued us for $1 billion. Lost the case and built bike racks where we speak at. They built bike racks where we speak at, and the Most High was like, listen, I'm going to read the scripture, the recompense, start from there.
Recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
The Most High said He's going to recompense tribulation to the Liberty Place because they troubled us.
Right.
We wasn't out there doing anything wrong. They was trying to say that we were stopping we were scaring away customers. But then they had to prove that. And they come to find out the same amount of money that they always made, they was making. Which shows that we wasn't stopping nobody from going in and out of there. Y'all was just saying that. So when it came time to prove it, the judge looking like, how y'all losing money? Where the hell y'all losing money at? Lost the case, built bike racks, now Liberty Place is boarded up. Next time I actually go back down there tomorrow, I'm gonna take a picture of it, post that up, probably put that as my
That's what I be thinking about telling stuff like that.
Right, my layout in my background in my Facebook. Post that up, make that my profile picture. Liberty Place boarded up, because it was hell. And then to see, like, hey, we beat the case and all that, and you go out there and y'all do a bike rack. the Most High is going to repay you for that. Now you can't make a dime. You try to say you were stopping your money. Now guess what? We are stopping your money. You can't make a dime out there. Like not one store in Liberty Place is open. You can't even walk in there. It's boarded up now. Most High in Christ. Read on.
Verse 7, and you too, and to you who are troubled, rest with us, when the Lord Yahweh will be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels.
When Christ come back, you gonna rest too with us. You know, when Christ come back with the mighty angels. When he come back to destroy America, you gonna rest with us too. Read on.
In flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not God, and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Yahweh Mashiach.
He gonna come back, taking vengeance on them, who know not Christ, who know not the Most High. Read.
Verse 9. Who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power, when he shall come to be glorified in his saints, and to be admired in all of them that believe, because of our testimony among you was believed in that day.
Right. Let me Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 2. Listen, the Most High is letting you know, you come back to him and you do what he say, this is the reward you're going to get, which is better, because right now we out there protesting in the streets, and you know, we trying to figure out what can we do, you know, because this is the last straw. Like after we looted, we went back to protesting because like, yo, what can we do after this? But the Most High is giving you a way to get what you're asking for. Just like I said, like we feel as though there's no hope. Like it's no hope. Where do we turn to after this? People are feeling like, listen, killing won't stop. And I read an article earlier that it was a pregnant sister who just got shot by the police. Who just got killed, and they asking for justice for her. Now they starting to reopen a bunch of old cases from last year, 2018, 17, of black people who was killed unjustly, and they started to reopening these same cases. Like the one brother who was, and I read what he said, man, it really broke my heart to even read it. I think he had his headphones in and he had a ski mask on or something. And he was walking with his headphones in. The police asked him to stop. He didn't stop, of course, because he had his music playing. And then the police grabbed him, and he just went into he just started begging for his life. Please, I'm sorry, I'm an introvert. I didn't do it. I don't have no guns on me. Please, I love you. He started telling the police, I love you. Please, don't hurt me. One of the police officers turned to the other one and said, listen, move with your goddamn body cam. Made him get up. They said they heard him on audio saying, move with your body cam, as they choked his brother. They choked his brother, and because he was freaking out, they gave him a shot of something. I forgot what they gave him a shot with. It was something that they give you a shot, but when you're freaking out like that, they use it to calm you down when you resist an arrest. Oh, that's what they call it?
Yeah, it's like they're using a psychiatric hospital.
Right. I think that's what it is too. When they trying to restrain you when you resisting, gave him a shot of something to calm him down. Later on that day, he had 3 heart attacks or something, he said, and he wound up dying because of it. Yeah, and they saying they believe they probably they say he was 140 pounds, and the amount of doses they gave him was for somebody that was like 200 pounds, 200 plus. So they gave him more than what they were supposed to. They knew that. I'm pretty sure they got a bunch of syringes, or they know how much to put into a person based off of how much they weigh. He's 140. They choking him. Right, and then you tell the other police officer, turn your body cam on. And then he wound up dying or something. He wound up dying. And then they asking for justice for him. Like, and that happened in like 2019, he was saying. Like, all these cases is being reopened, especially like the brother with the mat that was found rolled up in the mat.
Right.
Yeah, in the gym, which was clearly a murder. That was clear. And like all these cases being brought to the forefront, but a lot of them ain't gonna get justice because the Most High is giving everyone a way to get justice, and it's clear right before your face. You can't tell me that these people out here that's going through these things haven't came across a camp before.
Right.
They haven't walked out and seen a camp before.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them might have it, but we in a time where you might have it, but I'm leaning towards you might have it. Go ahead.
Because, like, okay, before I came into school, I didn't know nothing about it until I met a brother that wasn't in school.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one that told me about this, like, the whole Israelite thing. It was my truth at that point to obviously, determine what camp I was going to be in.
Right.
But that's only because I'm only saying I didn't know, and I think 21 at the time. So that was a false fear. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm sure people that are walking by or are in their different, y'all all over different states.
Right.
Nobody heard about it, or somebody y'all knew it. You know what I mean?
Right. And a lot of celebrities coming out now and saying the Israelites. I don't know, Anthony just said something like that. Of course, Ice Cube. Yeah. Ice Cube. But he with the, they leaning towards more the purple cats, which disappointed me about Ice Cube. Because I would expect him to see a camp like that and be like, man, them niggas saw.
Well, how's that known? He's a perfect. We call him perfect.
No, okay, I don't think he follow him, but okay, he been retweeting and reposting a lot of their videos.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been agreeing with a lot of the stuff that they've been saying. Like when they had a march out, what was that? Yeah, he reposted it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, y'all time is almost up or something.
Mm-hmm.
He said something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
you had your hand up to that?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's been retweeting them a lot. He has this infatuation with Purple Rain right now. You would think, with Ice Cube's background, that's the police.
That's what I was about to say. Those Negroes haven't been black. He hasn't been black since '89, since time. He got purple anyway.
Right.
In Hollywood, they weird, homosexual, with Jewish people.
Right.
And all that. He had who was that? Malachi Devil, Harry Keller. He let him split.
Right.
All that up. So yeah, he's pretty much perfect.
Right. Yeah, man, that's heavy. Yeah, Ice Cube haven't been black since '89. Since after the NWA group, Ice Cube, after Friday, Ice Cube hasn't been black.
It's like, the precedent for that is Snoop Dogg. You saw how they did the Snoop Dogg with Mr. Super Big Crit. Yeah, okay, man. Spade and neutered him on foot.
Right. Good. Yeah, they definitely neutralized Snoop Dogg. Good. Like that's heartbreaking to see like a person like Snoop. Right? Sometimes you might have a little hope in these gangster rappers. Like you got a little hope in these gangster rappers sometimes. Like when I heard Ice Cube was retweeting a bunch of Israelite stuff, right? First thing I said was, oh snap, let me go look it up. Right. I had a little hope for Ice Cube. I started thinking about his past too much. God dang, yeah, Ice Cube did have a bunch of songs. And then when I seen he retweeted the Purple Rain cats and said, yeah, y'all time is almost up. I said, God damn.
Just like the church.
Right. I was like, God damn. Ice Cube about to get the biggest movie role in his life. They gonna say, listen, backtrack everything you said and we gonna give you 20 million. He gonna do it. Because Ice Cube ain't for black people. See, this is just the phase they going through now because they angry. Mm-hmm. But when they get the right people to come out, make the right phone calls, hey, you shouldn't have said this because it wasn't right, and this is that and the third, get the right people to talk to these celebrities, they gonna backtrack on what they say and then try to get all their followers to, hey, don't listen to what I said. I wasn't in my right mind. I was angry at the time. We're gonna try to base it off anger, which which is understandable about these cats, man. This is like that showed me like I can't when I hear about another celebrity, like after that I heard Carmelo Anthony on Instagram Live saying we need to teach about the Israelites more, about how blacks are the Israelites. And I was like, I got a feeling this nigga Jewish or something. Like I ain't believing in nothing this nigga said. I got a feeling this nigga Jewish. Go ahead.
Because Sir Melo already knew that because, you know, when he played, you gotta remember, he played with the Knicks, and Amari Stoudemire knew he was an Israelite for years. He was teammates with Amari. So it's hard for me to believe.
But Amari Stoudemire is Jewish. That's the thing. Amari Stoudemire followed the Jewish custom. He even moved over there and played for their basketball team and everything. He was posting scriptures, but he was posting scriptures in Deuteronomy about the slave trade and curses. And I'm sitting there like, okay, he probably know. But then I seen one photo where he had a little curly thing on the side of his hat. I said, God damn, Mark, this nigga 6'10", 6'11", walking around with a bucket hat with curls on the side of it. God damn. I'm sitting there like, listen, these celebrities disappoint you every time. Like, and that's why I understand why the Most High say he don't choose the rich. He go choose the poor. He don't choose, you know, the ones that it's many of. He choose the least. Because choosing the rich like that, like they easy to, you know, sell out. Like all it takes is money and they switching what the hell they believe.
Like I had Terry Crews on a video on Twitter saying, some black people told me that the white man is the devil. You know, and he was scared. He blocked one of us. He was Tarareal. He blocked him when he reported him. Blocked Tarareal.
Yeah, he blocked a lot of people. He even blocked my mom. And she in the world. He blocked my mom. He blocked a couple of sisters from my slave. Like it's like you went from him the Edom. Like he act like because the video you talk about, I seen it. I actually posted. Terry Crews act like a woman who somebody had sex with, grew feelings for the person, and just threw away. So now his job is to just sabotage and just do everything. It's like ever since he came out about that Edomite grabbing his nuts, it seemed like he wanted to make it right and not make them all seem like that. Because it was already conspiracies in Hollywood on how you gotta have sex to get movie roles. So when he come out and say something like that, you feed the conspiracy theorists people to make more videos. So now you gotta backtrack and now you fighting for white people. Like to hear him say that, the first thing I thought was, he making every nigga that work out look bad. How is your big ass 6'4", 230? Listen, 230, an ex-football player, and you letting a 5'8" Hollywood flavored Edomite who probably weigh 160, all he do is drink and snort coke all day, grab your balls, and you didn't punch him in the face? But instead, you fighting for the same race that grabbed your balls. How does that sound? Go ahead, sis.
It was crazy because I thought that was his actual personality on the movie Friday. Like that's somebody you would look at and think this brother's not related to nothing. Like his whole personality, that whole movie really made me think like, oh,
he looked intimidating, like, damn, we don't want to mess with him. That cat is kind of.
Yeah, his role was all tough when he then.
Right, but not only you look like you can't be approached. To find out that you can be approached and you can grab your nuts, like, come on, man. If that was a brother that did that, he'd probably knock him the hell out of it. If that was a regular civilian who just said, hey, I love you, at a meet and greet, who said, hey, I love you, and grabbed his nuts, he would have knocked him out. Can I get a picture? As soon as he see the flash, grab his nuts, Terry Crews would have laid him out. But because that was a Hollywood director, he's thinking about his money, his career, how his family gonna eat. If he speak out wrong against it, how they're gonna blackball him. He's thinking more so of that. That's why the scriptures heavy when it say, we're probably the man that gains the whole world but loses his soul. Like, hey, you did what you needed to do. You gained everything. Now they grabbing your nuts. What can you do about it? That's the life you pick. you lost your soul. Now you know that it's not right. You want to speak out against it, and then somebody get in your ear and say, "Hey, I think what you said, you took it out of context. He didn't mean it like that. He was a little drunk, had a little cocaine in the system. That's why he did it." Now you backtracking and saying, "I had some." Listen, and the way he worded it, let me know he heard it from the ISUPK. Right? Listen, I haven't seen not one camp say that the white man was the devil. They would, they would word it in some way that'd be like, why do you even say it if you want to word it? Like, hey, yeah, these so-called other complexion of mine is just not right. Like, what the hell does that mean? You trying not to say the white man is the devil? He said, listen, I actually had people tell me the white man is the devil. When he said that, I said, oh, he had to hear that from somebody from out of the UK. Because his direct quote sound like, when he said that, it made me feel like, oh shit, somebody told him that. Go ahead, sir.
Shameless plug. Go ahead and follow ISUPK on Twitter. I gave who's that girl, Candace Owens, I gave her the business.
Right.
I gave Terry Crews business. He didn't block me. I do it in a smooth, like not with in a smooth Twitter kind of way with scriptures and calling you an idiot. Like,
Right.
I look at calling you an idiot. Her, Terry Crews, who else? Whatever famous cat that I see, like this person, they got a little blue check.
Right.
It's like,
You gotta look good, boy. It's not Christ. That's the Candace Owens, man. I forgot about her. Oh, man. Woo, I'll be sitting there like, I wish none of little bite, but if the sister punch her in the face, that's one sister I will understand. Like, she had that coming. Come on. She had that. Because some of the stuff she say just be like, come on, man. Like, you just trolling. Like, you can't really feel that way inside. That just sounds so crazy for half of the stuff that they be saying. Be like, they just shock value. Like, they just trolling. They want to get enough interviews and get money for what the stuff they saying. They can't shoot no movies because of the coronavirus. Just like, she called goddamn George Floyd a thug and saying he might have deserved it. I'm like, she can't be serious. I ain't about to watch this. Like, this sister can't be serious. Go ahead, sis. Are you still watching? I'm like this is half of the stuff she was saying. We just like half of the stuff a lot of these celebrities be saying. I just be like, nah, they gotta be trolling. Like, this can't be real. Like, are you serious? You can't feel that way. You cannot feel that way because at the end of the day, if a race riot will pop off, these same people who you feel as though you gotta fight for it, when they put a bullet in your head because you're trying to protect them. And let me see, time check. What's the time check? 9:01. So last point, I seen a disgusting photo at a Black Lives Matter rally. Edomite was in the middle of it or something, and you got this brother who come and pick him up, put him on the shoulder, pull him out the middle of the riot. He's like, y'all ain't let nobody touch him. Yeah, like they was gonna whip his ass. And the brother pick him up, put him on his shoulders, and walk him out in the middle of the riot, like, yeah, nobody gonna touch him. And I'm saying, like, this can't be real. Like, some of the stuff I see, I'm like, this can't be real. Go ahead, sis.
For example, like, it was pictures of, like, brothers basically debating other brothers, blocking them for, beating up the cops because supposedly the cop that was separated from all the other cops and stuff like that was unprotected. So the brother is sitting there, arguing with the brother from his block, telling him, like, look, I ain't gonna touch these cops. And the cops sitting there all scared behind them. We all thinking, like, that cop would have did the same thing for you. And remember, well, all these cops, they were coming to get y'all. So you can protect them from what?
Listen, I know I was like 14. I don't know what the hell I did. I did something bad. And I got caught by the police. And they put me in the back of the cop car. It was an Edomite cop. He said, I still remember, verbatim, he turned around, he said, I ain't gonna take you to jail. You know what I'm gonna do? I know this neighborhood not too far from here. I'm gonna drop you off here. When they see me drop you off, they're going to know the only way you can get dropped off in cop cars like that is if they snitch on something. And you're gonna have about 10 minutes to get out that neighborhood. I'm saying, why the hell did you do that?
Right.
He's just like, he didn't say not a word after that. He pulled up to the corner. He like, you see them? Yeah. Get out of my car. I was like, all right. So I don't care. got out the car and everything. And it's just like, his whole purpose was to, I'm going to just try to get your ass whipped. But those same people, I'm pretty sure he did that a million times. We try to protect him if something happened. And it's just like, he did that as a scare tactic. And I'm like, at first I'm like, why in the hell would you do that? But as I'm riding, I'm like, oh, he trying to get me jumped. We in Southwest. I'm like, damn, I'm cool. He like, yeah, you see them? Yeah, get out my car. I'm like, all right. And out the car, hey, what's up, y'all? Yeah, this nigga trying to set me up. This lame, he trying to set me up and he drop me off here. He like, hey, no, this ain't the one. You can't do that, man. Don't do that. This is wrong one. I'm sitting there like, yeah, man, he's trying to drop me off. And he's trying to say that I'm a snitch and all that, like, because I got caught stealing. Like, come on. Like, them police officers do that. But then now that you say it, it's like them same brothers would definitely protect him, make sure nothing happens to him. Nobody will touch him. But then, push come to shove, they gonna drop you off in a rival neighborhood, and they gonna be like, hey, goddamn, such and such got dropped off a few blocks away out the cop car. He must have been talking to him about something. Maybe it's something we did.
You could get cut.
You can get killed for that. You know, so with that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Priest and Officer Yadada.
Good officer. Y'all another strong hand. That being said, we are the ISUPK. We're starting at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I'm looking manager of Johanna, room for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes in school, they're only to be cared for. It's like they're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves with the world. They need transportation to an arranger. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to her brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe is the commandment. We read about this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. In the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. But Ishua, who's 10th the Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department, priest funds, people offer for the priest. Now, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you like to give, I will come up with complications as you know the Passover, which still goes home. You go to manager of Johanna on Black Watch, the weekly videos that he drop. Also, we have the memorial for blowing of the trumpets. The first day of the 7th month, Thursday, December 17, 2020. You can read about that in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 24 and 25. Remind all occupants not to go out to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, blue shirt, handbag, and scarf. With that, I admire you. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amad Shabbat. Admire. Hurrah. Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Yahweh, Dr. Mattah, Sergeant, Sister Ahmad. This is going to stand with your feet there. Right, you're going to stand with your feet 45 degree angle with your right hand over your left, with your hand bowed and covered. Men of Israel, we're going to give the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amad Shabbat. Admire. Hurrah. Yahweh, Shamar, Allah, Hashem, Yahweh, Dr. Mattah, class.